Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fluent English DCD podcast. We're here to make learning English fun, practical, and easy. No matter where you are on your English journey, we're so happy to have you here. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Emma. We speak at a medium speed, so it's easy to follow, but you can always adjust the playback speed to suit your comfort level.
In each episode, we'll focus on a key topic, whether it's for everyday conversations, English exams like IELTS and TOEIC, or casual chats with friends. You'll learn how to answer 3 common questions using helpful expressions and discover 3 idioms or phrases to make your English sound more natural.
Before we jump in, let's introduce the DCD approach: daily, consistency, and discipline. The 3 keys to steady progress.
Daily. Practicing a little every day makes a big difference. Consistency. Like watering a plant, small efforts add up over time. Discipline. Even on busy days, showing up keeps you on track.
Stick with this method, and you will see real improvement. If you enjoy this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, let's get started.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Fluent English DCD podcast. I'm Jeff, and today's topic is Stop Thinking, Start Talking, helping you break free from overthinking and start speaking English with confidence.
Hi, I'm Emma. Many English learners hesitate because they overanalyze what they want to say. But the key to fluency is letting go of that fear and just talking.
Absolutely. We're also joined by Dr. Olivia Green, an expert in language learning. Olivia, welcome.
Hi, Jeff and Emma. Excited to share insights on how overthinking can hold learners back and how to overcome it.
In this episode, we'll cover practical tips to help you stop overthinking and start speaking freely.
Exactly. Whether you're a beginner or looking to boost your fluency, stick around for strategies that will get you talking with ease.
And we'd love to hear from you. Drop your questions in the comments. We may answer them in future episodes.
Let's get started. First, a fun dialogue to show what happens when you stop overthinking and start talking.
Ugh, Michael, I always get stuck when I try to speak English. I keep thinking about grammar and the right words, and by the time I figure it out, the conversation has already moved on.
I know exactly what you mean. That used to happen to me all the time, but I realized that the more I overthink, the worse it gets.
So how did you stop overthinking?
I started forcing myself to speak without worrying about being perfect. Instead of trying to form the perfect sentence in my head, I just said whatever came to mind.
That sounds scary. What if I make mistakes?
Mistakes are part of learning. If you wait until your sentence is perfect, you'll never speak. Just say it, even if it's not 100% correct.
So, the trick is to stop worrying and just talk?
Exactly. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Just start talking and let the words flow.
That was a great example of how overthinking can slow you down. Michael made a great point. If you wait for the perfect sentence, you might never speak.
Right. A lot of learners believe they need to have the perfect grammar and vocabulary before they start speaking, but that's not how fluency works. You improve by speaking, not by staying silent.
Exactly. Overthinking makes your speech slower and more unnatural. It's better to just go with what you know. If you make a mistake, most people will still understand you, and you'll learn as you go.
That reminds me of a common fear. What if people judge me for my mistakes? But in reality, most people appreciate the effort. Nobody expects learners to be perfect.
Absolutely. The key is confidence. The more you practice speaking without fear, the more fluent you'll become. And mistakes? They're just stepping stones to improvement.
I always tell my students, Fluency is about communication, not perfection. If you can get your point across, you're already succeeding.
So true. The trick is to stop hesitating and start talking. Even if your sentence isn't perfect, you're training your brain to think and respond in English faster.
Exactly. So if you're listening and you tend to overthink, challenge yourself today. Speak without second-guessing. Just let the words flow. Now let's dive into our first question. Question 1. Why is it important to stop overthinking when speaking English?
This is a great way to start the discussion. Jeff, why do you think it's important to stop overthinking?
Overthinking slows you down. Instead of focusing on the conversation, you get stuck in your own head. This makes you hesitant and nervous, which can actually make your English sound worse. When you're in a conversation, time is moving fast, and if you pause too long to think, you might miss your chance to respond naturally.
Exactly. When you overthink, you doubt yourself. But speaking fluently isn't about being perfect. It's about being confident and communicating naturally. Olivia, what do you think?
Absolutely. Overthinking makes you second-guess every word, which interrupts your flow. If you focus too much on mistakes, you lose the rhythm of natural speech. Fluency is about getting your message across, not about perfection. Many learners believe that they need to construct every sentence perfectly before speaking. But that's not how natural conversations work. If you prioritize perfection over practice, you'll never develop a smooth speaking style.
That's a great point. Also, when you stop overthinking, you become a better listener. Instead of planning what you're going to say next, you can actually pay attention to the conversation and respond naturally. This makes interactions more engaging and improves your ability to adapt to different speaking situations.
So, to answer this question, we can say, stopping overthinking helps me speak more confidently, respond faster, and enjoy conversations without stress. The goal is to engage in communication, not to produce a perfect sentence every time.
Question 2. How can you train yourself to stop overthinking?
Now, let's talk about practical steps. Jeff, how can learners train themselves to stop overthinking?
A great way is to practice speaking without stopping to correct yourself. Set a timer for 1 minute and talk about any topic. Don't stop. Don't correct mistakes. Just keep talking. This exercise trains your brain to keep the conversation going without hesitation.
That's a great tip. Another technique is using speaking triggers. For example, when you see an object, immediately say something about it in English. If you see a coffee cup, say, "This is my favorite coffee cup. I drink coffee every morning." This helps your brain form sentences naturally without overanalyzing grammar or vocabulary.
I love that. Another useful method is speed conversations. Find a speaking partner and have rapid-fire conversations where you can't pause for more than 2 seconds. This forces you to speak without hesitation, and over time, it becomes a habit.
That's a great approach. Also, try using filler phrases like "let me think" or "that's a good question" instead of pausing in silence. This keeps your speech flowing and buys you time to think while still engaging in the conversation.
Another powerful technique is immersion. The more you listen to English, the more natural it will feel. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, and repeat sentences out loud. The more exposure you have, the more comfortable you'll feel with the language.
Yes. And don't just shadow native speakers by mimicking their speech. This helps you get used to the rhythm of English and reduces hesitation. Practicing this technique consistently will make your speech more fluid and natural.
So, to answer this question, say, "I train myself by practicing nonstop speaking. using speaking triggers, having speed conversations, using filler words, immersing in English, and shadowing native speakers. Question 3. What are common mistakes to avoid when trying to speak freely?
Many learners struggle with speaking fluently. Jeff, what are some common mistakes to avoid?
The biggest mistake is aiming for perfection. It's okay to make mistakes. Fluency comes from practice, not perfection. When you obsess over grammar, you slow yourself down and create unnecessary pressure.
Another mistake is pausing too much to think. Long pauses break the flow of conversation and make you feel more nervous. Instead, just keep talking. Even if you make a small mistake, most people won't even notice.
Also, don't let fear of mistakes stop you. If you focus too much on being correct, you won't say anything at all. Communication is the goal, not flawless grammar. The important thing is that people understand your message.
Another mistake is translating in your head. This makes speaking slow and unnatural. Instead, think in English and say what comes to mind. The more you train your brain to think directly in English, the more fluently you'll speak. One last mistake is not practicing enough. The best way to improve is to speak every day, even if it's just talking to yourself. The more you use English in daily life, the more natural it will feel.
So, a good answer to this question is, avoid aiming for perfection, pausing too much, fearing mistakes, translating in your head, and not practicing enough. The more you practice and let go of fear, the more confident and fluent you'll become.
Let's learn 3 idioms today.
1. Spit it out. Spit it out. Spit it out. This idiom is used to tell someone to stop hesitating and say what they want to say. It's often said when someone is struggling to express something or taking too long to speak. For example, stop hesitating and just spit it out already. Or, if you have something to say, spit it out.
2. Let the cat out of the bag. Let the cat out of the bag. Let the cat out of the bag. This idiom means to accidentally reveal a secret or disclose information that was meant to be kept private. For examples, he accidentally let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party. Or I didn't mean to let the cat out of the bag, but I mentioned the promotion before it was official.
3. Speak your mind. Speak your mind. Speak your mind. This idiom encourages someone to express their thoughts, opinions, or feelings openly and honestly without fear. For examples, don't be afraid to speak your mind in the meeting. Or, she finally spoke her mind about how unfair the decision was. Today, we explored how to stop thinking and start talking in English.
The key is to let go of perfection and just speak. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Fluent English DCD podcast.
See you next time. Bye, everyone.